like my funky glasses. Can't tell if it's a vibe or not. Do we like them? I mean, I kind of like them. Hey guys, welcome to my channel if you're new. If you aren't new, welcome back. This is Bound to Bookmarked, and today's video is gonna be a reading vlog, which you already know. I'm reading a book that doesn't have quotation marks anywhere amongst the dialogue. So this should be interesting. I'm reading Normal People by Sally Rooney. I don't really know what else to say except that this is what I'm reading and I have no idea what I'm getting into. I just know that people love the show. People on BookTube love this book. I've only seen like a handful, a very small handful, like my actual handful of people who hate this book. I haven't read any reviews on this book on purpose. Like, I'm trying to just be super unbiased here. Yeah. So I'm just gonna go and read. So let's discuss this book. I have things to say, and you know, I'm only 16 pages in, but I think initial thoughts are quite important for vlogs. I need to address the elephant in the room, and it's the fact that this book has no quotation marks. So because there are no quotation marks, every time that Connell, the main character, and Marianne, the other main character, have a conversation, it sounds like this.
Hey, Marianne, did you get your marks back on your English exam?
Connell says. No, I didn't get my marks back.
Marianne says. And at some points there aren't even like he says or she says or Marianne says or Connell says. And there was a moment in time, unlike page 4, I texted Mel and I'm like, I'm having the best time guessing who the heck is talking right now. I mean, yes, you can decipher who's speaking, but I shouldn't have to figure it out. That's like a little bit frustrating. It's making the experience of reading between the two characters not a good time. I mean, granted, they're not talking about anything important anyway, but I do feel as though this is giving me middle school language arts writing class where you aren't really sure of how to construct dialogue and conversation amongst characters yet because you're learning how to write for the first time, like an in-depth story. So that's a little disappointing considering this book has had such high praise on BookTube. So what I've gotten so far from this story, we have Connell and Marianne. Connell's popular. I don't see it yet, but sure. Then you have Marianne, who is a loner, but I'm a little bit concerned with the way she was described in the very beginning of the book. I don't know how to take how it's written. By the way, if you haven't realized this already, it's gonna be a very spoiler reading vlog. Like, I can't even hold in any of this, so I'm gonna let it all out. It's the way that Connell describes Marianne that just rubbed me kind of a weird way. It felt very strange because he talks about her and he says that everyone at school hates her because she's weird, that her father died, that they think that she has a mental illness but they're not sure. And it's just the way that it's spoken of so nonchalantly that kind of bothers me because everything that was said is serious. I don't find the way that it was written to be taken seriously. So I'm a little bit bothered by that because I'm not sure what the purpose of it was. But there was no explanation after that. Like maybe why she acts the way she does. And maybe that'll come later in the story. I could be just prematurely speaking on this, but it was a weird feeling that I got when I read that. And then just the way that this story is so choppy so far, because we start off with a scene, an opening scene of them at Marianne's house. Lorraine, which is Connell's mom, is a cleaner. She cleans for Marianne's family. And so we see Connell and Marianne in this house together and they don't really have much interaction. It's very minimal. And we move from that scene to a scene of Marianne going to a soccer game where she sees Connell. I guess at this point now it's 3 weeks later. Something's happened in these past 3 weeks for them to become a little bit more friendly. So they keep referencing this conversation that happened in the kitchen at Marianne's house. So at this point in the kitchen, Marianne tells Connell that she likes him as more than a friend, and he was like, oh, I don't know how to feel about that, but you know, I'm unsure of my feelings for you. Here's my what's the word I'm looking for? This book is making me forget words. Here's the dilemma and why I'm confused. This conversation is the turning point for them being acquaintances to them being people who are like okay with kissing each other. So a lot happened in 3 weeks, and this conversation I guess is what kind of jump started that whole thing, but we don't ever get the conversation. Like, we're told that it happens, we're never told what is said. As a reader, we are not privy to this conversation, which I feel like we should be in order to at least understand where this newfound relationship is coming from. I'm going back to reading. Let's hope. My goal is to finish tonight. Like, I'm on page 16, yes, but it looks like a pretty fast read, so I'm gonna go back to reading. Fingers crossed it gets better. I can't, let me sit up, because this is getting serious now, okay? I'm so confused. So I'm literally on page 22. I just spoke to y'all like 5 minutes ago. Mind you, when the book first opens up, it's like, what month is it? It's January. By page 9, we're 3 weeks into like the book, so now it's February. I'm on page 22, y'all, and it's already been a month that's passed by since the start of the book. What the freak happened from page 1 to page 22? Literally nothing. We actually do get to witness a scene where they kiss for the first time, but out of nowhere we jump to a month ahead and they've already had sex. I don't even know how they're friends. I'm not understanding the connection here. Like, what it's feeling like is totally fraud. Like, it feels fraudulent, it feels very fake. Nothing about this relationship or friendship, if you even want to call it that, that's even a stretch in my opinion. Like, I don't think that they're friends, because to be quite frank with you, Connell treats her like dirt. He can kiss her outside of school, but like, he won't speak to her in school. Yeah, it's just, it's pretty bad. Like, the book is not good. There's just no depth. I don't understand this book. So I'm on page 46, right? Not this girl saying her life began the minute Connell told her he loved her. In my mind, they're still strangers. I just don't know what to do with this story. And then I'm also realizing too, just like the underlying tones that I'm seeing in this book, like every female up until page 46, Connell finally does tell Marianne like that he thinks she's beautiful, right? But before that, he would explain how people at school thought she was ugly. But not only that, he talked about how people went up to this particular college that he would meet girls, sleep with them, and pretty much that they'd be weird looking and end up being bisexual. It's like, it was a really weird line. In that same conversation with Marianne, he says to her, like, if we go to the same school, you'd probably ignore me. Like, you would act like you don't know who I am. And then I'm like, hold on a second. So she can't pretend like she doesn't know who you are, but you can go all throughout your last year of high school pretending like you don't know who she is. You're embarrassed by her. And this is my thing, that this is my issue with this book. It's like, I'm sure there's some underlying insecurities going on with Connell, but my issue again is that this book is so filled with a lot of kind of just disturbing moments towards females, and it's uncomfortable to read. I don't know. The bottom line is I'm struggling connecting with the story. I do feel like it's a bit deceiving based on what I'm reading, because it talks about, like, they strike up a conversation that's awkward but electrifying. I felt no current, I felt no shock. I've seen no electricity in this book. Good morning. Let me just, hold on, because y'all know I can't see. Okay, so much better. Good morning. It's Tuesday and I'm so tired, but I'm about to get up and brush my teeth. Like, I just woke up like 30 minutes ago. I did just like kind of scroll aimlessly on social media for a bit, check my email, did all the things, but I'm about to get up, brush my teeth, pick up Normal People so I can really honestly just get done with it. Like, I'm just ready to finish it. At this point, I'm really just finishing it for the sake of this video. Okay, I'm gonna go and brush my teeth now, so I will see y'all in like literally a few seconds. Okay, bye. We're still here, we're still reading, we're still not thriving. I'm on page 87. This morning I said I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna brush my teeth and I'm gonna go ahead and get this book over with. And it's the way that I haven't gotten this book over with yet. When I tell you, ain't no personality in this book. Zero personality in Marianne and Connell. The mom, she has some personality, I guess. I mean, she doesn't like her son, rightfully so. I agree. I also don't like her son. He is so degrading of women. The thoughts toward women are just not good. Let's talk about Marianne for a second, because like, I'm equally sad for her as I am just mad. Between her thinking that Connell is so sweet and so kind, like, the bar set very low for everyone in this book. Marianne's mother is like not even there. She's not even there. Like, her name's brought up, but she never any interaction, except for when her trash of a brother does something rude to Marianne and was like, don't tell mom. This little boy taunts her and makes fun of her for not having friends, calls her ugly, just treats her like trash, and thinks that it's comical. Nothing is funny about that. Her father also beat her mother, and her mom just feels like aggression, like men showing aggression expression, it's just how they express themselves towards women. It's an unfortunate situation. Sally Rooney is not doing a good job of explaining these subjects and touching on them in a way that has both depth and in a way that's appropriate. I'm gonna go back to reading now. And okay, I'm on page 108 of Normal People, and if you ask me if it's good, I'm gonna tell you I don't know. It's on my 3rd day out here, but no, seriously, this is my 3rd day trying to figure out how I'm gonna finish this book. I mean, although I'm getting to like the halfway point, I'm gonna really just dedicate myself to reading this straight through from this point forward. I needed to come on here though really fast and talk just about Connell and Marianne, because now I have a bit more, dare I say, information. Don't want to say detail because that's too strong of a word. I just read a scene where Connell is talking about how he low-key wants to hit Marianne. He feels disgusted that he felt that he had that thought. He's like, where did that come from? I don't even know. And she would let him do it based on the kind of personality that she has and all that kind of stuff. So as of right now, I do not understand the point in this story. I do not understand the point of any of these words on paper. So we're going through years of their lives, them having an on-again, off-again relationship. Situationship. I wouldn't even call this a relationship. It's just a bunch of weird events, nothing really being strung together appropriately or in like this linear timeline. It's all just kind of up and down. I think that we're being robbed of the opportunity to really get to know these characters. Connell and Marianne, there's so much going on with them. There's so much going on, and it's unfortunate that the creator of these characters just decided not to go in depth about who they are. I don't understand anyone's motivation in this book. I don't understand why she's so connected to Connell. Like, what about Connell is so great that you feel like he's the only person in the world that you could love that could love you? What about Marianne is so enticing to Connell that makes him want to just treat her badly, but then also think in your mind somehow that you're treating her great? All right, I'm gonna dedicate the next 3 hours to reading this book straight through. Let's see if I can do it. We're gonna start right now. Challenge accepted. So I've officially reached like pretty much the halfway point, and it's just so interesting to me, like the emotional connection that people have with this story. I'm here to give you the truth about this story. I'm here to tell you the cold hard facts about Marianne, about Connell, about Lorraine. They're not developed well, and it's the fact that, you know, throughout this book so far, there's a disconnect with the writing. So what we get is a bunch of rash decision making on their parts without anybody telling us why they're making the choices they're making. With this being kind of like a romance and an epic love story between two people who have just always found their way back to each other, you know, off and on for years, it's interesting to me that within these years, we never get a foundation for them. What I do understand is that there's no reason these two should be together. And I guess my thing too is just like Sally Rooney has reduced this relationship down to sex, miscommunication, and unfortunate events, really. I feel like this is the most monotone book I've ever read in my entire life. I have read one of the greatest love stories I've ever read in my life just a few months ago, and it's very similar to this story. People we meet on vacation, follows two friends. We're following their off again, on again kind of relationship, sort of, like more like feelings, and we get to see why in the beginning they were so close. This book, we don't get that, and so that's a great comparison because that book did it amazing. Emily Henry, chef's kiss. It's trying to accomplish what people we meet on vacation accomplish, and Mel, tell the people. Ah! There's bugs. Listen, these flies.
Honestly, Ruth, the bug sat on me.
No, it did. It sat right here on Mel.
Why? Like, stop it.
And I have my little zapper here.
Exactly.
But they're so fast, I can't even get them.
Okay, but I have an idea. How about we stab Connell and Marianne away too?
You know what? I like that idea. Let me make this fast because I don't know if you could tell, but I'm perspiring quite a bit. I came outside because I was like, you know what? I'm gonna read some more outside. I was reading a line to Mel and I was telling her how this writing is just, that's like the biggest problem. They have a lot that they've dealt with in their life, and I know this because Sally told us, and yet we never actually discover what happened. So I think for me, it's just the bottom line. Nothing is really being explained, and everything that does happen that is conversed between both Marianne and Connell is so surface level. I think that's why I can't grasp and hold on to their relationship and their romance and their so-called love, because to me it doesn't exist. flies. To me, it doesn't exist, because how did y'all form this love that you so-called have that is so strong? You keep coming back to it every couple of months. So I'm just confused as to what connection they really have outside of a physical connection. Even like their sex life just sounds very dull. I feel nothing. So it's just disappointing, and I'm honestly at this point I'm skimming through. I would totally just read all the dialogue, but I don't know where it starts and where it ends because there's no quotation marks, so I can't even really do that. And I'm just guessing. I'm on page 171, so I've got about 100 pages left, and I'm just gonna fly through them and just speed read because I don't really care anymore about them, about the story. Okay, here we go, Mel. Oh, 5 minutes later. Wow. Okay, I'm skipping on this part. Don't care. Oh, I'm nervous about what's about to happen between Connell and Alan. Alan's crying. That's the end? Wait, what? I'm confused. Wait.
That's the end for having the nosebleed.
No, I'm on the end where I skipped that too. The part where he gets into the MFA program. Okay, well, okay, so as y'all just saw, I just finished the book. It's done. I finished it, but I'm gonna give it 1 star. I don't know what else to say to y'all. Like, I've been struggling. That's how you know this book just didn't have anything to give to me as a reader, because y'all know me. I can find the smallest thing to kind of like discuss and to investigate, but with this book, I just couldn't investigate anything because Sally gave me nothing to investigate. We just went through this stream of consciousness, basically, these different events in their lives and happenings with no real explanation and never diving deeper into these characters. Characters are written in a way that just gave us nothing. So in a nutshell, I'm actually very happy that I can move on to something else now. With that being said, I hope that y'all enjoyed this vlog. With that being said, peace out. We're done with this book. And I'm so happy.